Welcome back, everybody, to the Heartbroken and Housebroken podcast. My name is Spiro. This weekend was wild, sports especially. Oh my God, football was insane. Joe Burrow, shout out to you. You should be the MVP, whether you make the playoffs or not. And I'm not just saying that because I look like a poor man's version of you. I look like Joe Burrow that flies on Frontier Airlines. I get it. I've seen the comments, guys. I know what you guys are saying. But other than football, we had a pretty big sports week in the hockey world. And if you guys aren't following it, UNLV Rebels, baby. We pulled off a historic upset in men's ice hockey. And if you guys know anything about me, you know that used to be a massive part of my life, playing hockey. Some injuries, unfortunately, derailed a lot of it. And up until recently, I wasn't able to play all that much. The last 4 or 5 years, when Sarah got really, really sick and I had developed all these pretty bad injuries and I was in a really bad depression, I kind of turned away from the game a little bit. Because, you know, it's rec league now, it's adult league now, there's nothing serious about it. But you don't realize how much you miss those things that make you you. You know, like, hockey used to be me. That used to be before comedy, before improv, before filming, before any of this. Hockey was like what I wanted to do. And I got hurt, so I really couldn't pursue it any longer. And I ended up at UNLV'S like an accident, like a happy accident. My dad was living in Vegas for work, and he told me that UNLV was starting a team, and I just got hurt. I just got cut from the team I was on, and I didn't know what to do. So I took a leap of faith and I went and enrolled for UNLV and I joined the hockey team. And I think I wasn't there the first year, but I came the second year. So the first inaugural year, I was not there. The second year, I was there. And we were okay. We were a fun little bunch. We had a good talent discrepancy. We had a lot of players that played high level, and then we had some players that, you know, just wanted to play for fun, which is kind of what club was all about. You're playing for fun. A lot of these guys are talented, but they got hurt. They just couldn't, cut it. They just, for whatever reason, they ended up in club hockey. They wanted an education. They just wanted to play for hockey. They didn't want to pursue that career long term, which is fine. We see that in comedy all the time. Some people just come out and they want to tell jokes and they have no desire to make this a living. And to them, God bless you guys. You guys must have very easy night's sleep. But I ended up there on accident, and we were a decent team, and it was just crazy to see. And if you guys are just not familiar with how big of an upset it is, I don't know if you guys follow high school, college football, but here in Vegas, we have a high school called Bishop Gorman. It's like one of the best high school programs in the country. They're always like in the top 5. They're always winning national championships. Very, very good. That would be like if they beat like an Alabama or like a Georgia. Okay, so it's not saying that Gorman's not good. It's just they don't have the resources that an Alabama has, that a Georgia has. They're not playing against the competition that Alabama and Georgia is playing against. So for Gorman to go in to Tuscaloosa and we were stomping them a little bit, then they came back. But to legitimately beat a full, healthy Alabama team, it's a pretty big fucking deal. So that's the scope of what this is. That's the comparison that I can make. And when we first started, we couldn't even afford to go out of town. We would have 36 games a year, and 30 of them would be in Vegas because we're like, people want to come to Vegas, and we can't afford to go anywhere else. And when we would drive places, it would be Utah Valley State is a team that we played, so a couple hours away. Arizona State and San Diego State. So very close drives. We never flew. We would pack up 3 cargo vans that we would rent and drive out there. The captains would have to drive the vans. It was different. You know what I mean? It wasn't, but we had fun and we were good. First year I played, we were mediocre. Second year we recruited and we were very fucking good. But we had the same mindset where it's like nobody wants to leave. Everyone wants to come to Vegas. And we would beat teams by like 15, 16, 17 goals. God, that team we were very, very good. But even if we played like an NCAA Division I team, we would have struggled. It's fun, man. Like, it's crazy to think that that's where the program started, and now you're watching this program now, and they're on the cusp of getting to Division I, NCAA. It's cool. Like, it's cool knowing that I was a part of something like that, that I was at the ground level of something that's really blossoming into something amazing. It's this gorgeous redwood tree, and we were essentially the seeds. You know? Not many people get to be part of stuff like that. And I remember when my dad first told me to come out here, he told me, he's like, you're going to be part of something where like you're going to be the first team at UNLV. And, you know, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Like, I'm upset because I can't, you know, play high level anymore. Like, I'm hurt. Like, I don't want to move down to club and not play up to my potential. But I had a great time. I made a lot of good friends. I was able to continue my hockey career for a lot longer than I thought I was going to. And now, this weekend, I think was the first time I understood what my dad was saying and just like, hey, you're going to be part of something special. And almost 20 years later, watching this historic upset and it getting the publicity it's getting, you know, it's on Spittin' Chicklets, it's on all these high-end, you know, it's on Bleacher Report, it's on all these things. And does this mean that UNLV is going to go Division I because of this? No. But what it does, it creates a lot of buzz because it's a lot more than just getting the right players and, you know, just saying we're good enough to be Division I. You know, there's funding, there's like I think it's called Title IX. There's a lot of things outside of the control of the players. But there's always the excuse where it's like, well, they might not even be able to. Can UNLV play hockey, Division I? That can't happen. And we just proved it could. And we didn't even have the full resources that all these other NCAA teams have. So shout out to my boys, Artie Castro and Anthony Greener, the general manager and head coach of the UNLV hockey team. I played with them back in the day. We went through the grind. We went through all the tough spots, and they had a vision for this program, and they absolutely knocked it out of the fucking park. And I cannot wait to see what the next coming years have in store for you guys, because there's an excitement around this program. There has been an excitement around this program, and I am honored that I was a small part of it early on in this life cycle of UNLV hockey, and I hope you guys continue this and go Rebels. If you guys haven't followed me already, please drop a subscribe. It means the world to me. Let's grow this channel, and follow me on social media, all social media platforms if you haven't, at Spiro and That Show. Here's a thought that I had the other day, and it got brought up to me in a conversation, so I figured I would riff on it. But when you're a young widower, they don't really tell you what you're supposed to do, if that makes sense. Like, when she first got sick, when Sarah first got cancer, it was, they sit you in this little room with like a TV, like a little old VCR TV. And you're like literally in a storage closet, and they sit you in this room, and it's a video pretty much telling you everything you should expect while she has cancer. You know, they're talking about chemo brain, where like, you know, you kind of get like this brain fog. They tell you about the hair loss. They tell you about like, they tell you about everything that you need to know while she's alive. Why don't they do that when she died? When someone dies and they're young, especially after like something horrific like cancer, they should wheel you into a room, the survivor, like the surviving spouse, and they should make you watch a video just like that about what to do now that she's dead. Where to buy urns. I didn't know where to buy urns. I did it. I'm like, where the fuck do you buy urn? I know it's expensive. It's like the dealership. It's like a car dealership. I'm not going to take her to the car dealership to get an urn. They're going to fucking charge me out the ass. Why would I do that? Right? So I found a nice compromise. I went on Amazon, and I talk about this on stage. But it was a real thing where I was like, I don't know. And then my dad died, and I was like, I definitely can't afford 2 urns. I gotta. So yeah, I bought urns off of Amazon. I'm not proud of it. I mean, I am proud of it. Fuck you, I am proud of it. I bought urns off of Amazon. What have you done on Amazon? What is the weirdest thing you've bought off of Amazon? Bet it's not a couple of urns. You got to earn the title of the best Amazon purchase. But it's crazy. They don't tell you any of this. So, like, there's a lot of thoughts where you just don't. You kind of just figure out what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable through fire. No pun intended with the urn. Like, this is something, and it's something I didn't even think about, but when I was in Austin, I was hanging out with my friend who's a mutual friend of Liz. And Liz, when she first came to my place to stay the night, she saw Sarah's urn out. And rightfully so, she was probably a little like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. And he told me that like she kind of had that thought, which I don't blame anybody, because if anything, it actually kind of was like, oh, thank God it was Liz. Thank God it was somebody I trusted. Like, that's what you thank God it was somebody I trusted, because like, what if it wasn't somebody I trusted? Like, what if it was just some like random Tinder date and she got nuts and was like, well, I'm stealing your wife now, and then stole the ashes on her. Like, how is that kidnapping? Do I press charges for that? What do you do if someone steals ashes? This is dark. Right? Where do you put ashes that you don't like? I don't want to put in the closet. Right? That doesn't seem right. It's like, hi, I loved you. I planned on being with you. I took care of you. I, was there for you for your whole life, and now sit in this closet. Like, that doesn't seem right either. And some people would be like, well, go spread the ashes. Spread them around. Toss them in the ocean. Toss them at the zoo. She liked the zoo. How do I know that's what she wants? How do I know that's what she wants? What if she doesn't? What if she wants to sit and watch everything? Make sure that nobody steals her ashes. She's like, I want to be out so I can observe everything. I want to see your stroke game. I want to see your confidence. I want to see what you say. I want to, she's like in those rom-coms when people hide in bushes and they're like, say this to the girl, and like the girl's on the patio and the guy repeats it. Like, what if she's doing that? Like, what if she's like trying to coach me the whole time? What if she's trying to get me back out there? She can't coach me from the closet. She's not an offensive coordinator. She doesn't have a headset on. I don't have a helmet that, directly links her voice to me. Maybe this is her way of just being like, yeah, this is the confidence. It's dark. It's dark. It's dark. But I thought of dark things. Again, she had wigs because she lost her hair. What do you do with the wigs? Donate them? Sure. But I mean, early on, that was kind of what I kept around, because I was like, oh, like, these are her things. I don't know. Like, you get this weird sense of like, these are her things. I shouldn't get rid of these things. And then I start panicking because I was like, well, what if I bring a young lady over and she tries to like act like Sarah and put the wig on and be like, look, I'm your wife. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. But these are the thoughts that you have. And I once expressed that concern to somebody, and they looked at me and they were like, you should 1,000% be worried about that. It's like, holy fuck, man, really? Really? I should be worried. Nothing will get you more excited to throw things away than having a really irrational fear being confirmed by someone that you trust. Be like, I have this really irrational fear that if I bring somebody over, they're going to go straight to my closet, put on Sarah's wig, and pretend to be her, and I don't know if I can handle that. And then this person was like, oh, that is 1,000% justified. That is not a weird concern. That could totally happen. They need videos for that. They need a video where they'll be like, look, this is normal to feel this way. Donate the wigs. Get the stress out of your mind. Donate the wigs. Spread the ashes, unless she doesn't want them, and then she'll haunt you forever. But I don't understand. They tell you everything to do during, and then after, you almost get cut off. It's like professional athletes. A lot of the times you see them get all the help that they need during the NFL season, during their career, and then as soon as it's over, they're kind of lost in the woods. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They don't have a program to assist them. That's what there should be. There should be a post-death program where they just wheel you into a room, show you a video, and then be like, have any other irrational fears that we can address right now? I do have some shows coming up in 2025. The first one on the docket is I'm headlining Lake Havasu in January, on January 7th at 7:30 p.m. It's a no-cover show. Liz Stone will be featuring for me, so it'll be a great time. I also have our Smoke and Fire show coming up on January 22nd. Again, if you guys want to come out to that, we're trying to grow this show, so free tickets upon request. Bring your friends, bring your family. We have a great lineup with Ron Vi headlining. We got Liz Stone featuring, and we got John Hilder featuring, plus some special guest drop-ins as well. So if you guys are interested in that, hit me up, and I'll hook you guys up with tickets. This episode's coming out on December 31st, 2024. And it's the end of another year. We're going into 2025, and it's crazy to think. It's crazy to think for a lot of reasons. One, holy shit, where the fuck did this year go? I feel like everybody says that. Where did this year go? But I feel like this year felt long, and then all of a sudden just zipped up. And we're approaching 4 years for Sarah being passed. She passed in 2021 in February. And every year I've learned new things. And the first year, I think I just learned how to cope, how to be sad, how to feel what I was feeling. Second year, I think it was very much learning how to move forward, getting out of depression, learning how to see that there are other things in this world that can bring you joy. And remember that things used to bring you joy. 2023 was kind of getting myself healthy again, really taking care of me in a lot of ways. I think that's something that really is a understated importance, especially if you're going through something similar that I went through. If you're a caretaker for someone, if you experience 2 tragic losses back to back, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of yourself. I was lucky in a way that I was able to take care of Sarah, but I was not in a good place. I wasn't healthy mentally, physically. I had a lot of injuries I didn't know about. I had a lot of things health-wise I didn't realize were going on. And then she passed, and I just kept pushing forward. And then my dad passed, and I really kept pushing forward. And then it eventually hit a point where it couldn't be like that anymore. And it's not a good point. And it wasn't a good point. And to be honest with you, it wasn't something that was on purpose. It was something where I just was running on fumes for so long that my body was eventually just like, holy shit, man. Like, we're stopping you. And I had to make a change, and I did. After that moment, I immediately got on antidepressants. I really started taking care of my body, yoga, been playing hockey a lot more again. And just like I said earlier in the episode, like, understanding that hockey was important to me was such a big thing. It was really a big thing to me, mentally. 2024. I thought I was in, 2023, I took all these good care. I thought everything was going to be fine. I thought I was kind of back to who I was. 2024, you start to realize, or I started to realize, I don't recognize who I am And that's not a bad thing. When you go through awful trauma, and when you go through insane circumstances that you never thought would come, and they're unchangeable. Nothing that happened I can change. You start to kind of lose focus on yourself. And then when you eventually start to realize who you are again, you don't recognize yourself. And I think 2024 was fully accepting who I am and understanding that not everyone is going to be okay with that. And that people, places, things, moments, sometimes they're only in your life for a certain reason, for a certain time, for a certain purpose. And they're there to show you things, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. I learned a lot of hard lessons this year. I learned a lot about myself and my trusting for people. I learned a lot about how people perceive me, how people perceive my situation, how people perceive mental health in general. And hard lessons. I won't get into details, but hard lessons. You know what you've been through. If you've been through a lot, you know what you've been through. And you know what it does to you. And when I say you know what it does to you, you don't have a fucking clue what it does to you. But you know you're different. And you know there's something off. 2024, I learned I'm allowed to trust myself and my thoughts again. That I'm not crazy. I'm not overthinking. It's not my depression. I'm finally starting to get my bearings back. I'm not in survival mode anymore. I'm not in life or death anymore. You know, when you're taking care of someone who has cancer, every moment is life or death. Every appointment she has to get to, every chemo thing, every infection, everything. And then my dad just passed, and it just shows like one day everything could be different and there's nothing you can do about it. 2024 taught me that I've been through a lot, but I'm still here and I'm thriving. And if there's anybody out there who's going through something or went through a year similar to one of my previous couple of years or this year, sometimes it's good to go through it and get through it, because then you're in a place where nothing can hurt you anymore. You can handle anything that gets thrown at you. And if people don't accept that, then that's okay. You're the only one that can get through what you've been getting through. You're the only one that can handle your situation. And that's not a bad thing. 2025 is going to be a great year for me. I already have so many amazing things lined up. It'll be the first year in a long time where I feel like I'm confident with who I am. I'm confident with what I'm doing. I'm confident with what I want to do. Am I going to learn lessons in 2025? 1,000%. Am I going to experience new things of this trauma that I haven't experienced yet? Fuck. But struggle doesn't always have to be bad. Struggle, just like working at the gym, just like doing a sport, just like starting the UNLV hockey program. There's lows, there's dips, but eventually you see it bloom and you can look back and you can be fucking proud of everything you've done. And if you're in this moment, if you're in a tough moment, keep going, because I promise you, one weekend, randomly, it'll all make sense to you. It won't make full sense, but it'll make enough sense. And I hope that does a lot for you, because it's done a lot for me. And that'll do it today for the Heartbroken and Housebroken podcast. Again, if you guys aren't following me on social media, please do at Spiro in That Show. Drop a subscribe and a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking of the podcast. Let me know if you guys want me to riff on any topics, because I'm happy to do that. With that being said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful, safe New Year's Eve and enjoy 2025. I'll see you guys there.